Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Hey, wife.
Yes, husband.
Did you know that we are now on Patreon?
Yes, because you told me, but also, no, tell me more.
So we're on Patreon now.
Are we?
We are, and our supporters can go there and support us, and we have multiple levels all the way up to You Killed God.
That sounds really drastic and escalated quickly-ish.
Well, no, there's multiple levels before there, so it escalates on a sliding scale of, cheap to not cheap.
Oh.
But, we can definitely use any amount. So, any support is always appreciated.
So, what exactly is Patreon?
It's a place where you can show your support for our podcast. And
just our podcast?
Any podcast or any performer. But, we're the ones that, you're listening to right now. So maybe you should, support us. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. But we love you anyway.
So all you got to do is go to Patreon, look up Sacrilegious Discourse. It's actually patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse is our actual main page there. So head on over and send us some love.
Yeah. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what we're doing?
I do know what we're doing.
Are you sure? Because you sure couldn't say very much just then.
But I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm absolutely sure.
Yeah, we're
finishing something.
We are finishing up the book of 2 Kings and doing a
You don't have a wrap-up
bonus.
song. Why don't you have a wrap-up song?
Wrap it up, wrap it up.
No? You're going to have to work on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Although you didn't like the other two I had either at first, so...
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
But that one was just not... There wasn't any thought in it. You just take the words. You wrap it up.
I hate to tell you I didn't put a lot of thought into
Well,
the other ones
yeah.
either. Sorry to burst your little bubble there.
All right, so we're doing our wrap-up for 2 Kings.
That is correct.
All of them.
All the kings.
All the kings. All the 2 Kings.
Well, actually, yeah. Kind of the first and 2 Kings. The Book of Kings is...
That's right, we didn't really do much of a wrap-up for the last one, right?
No, we did, but we didn't do a lot with, the contradictions and stuff like that because it was one book broken into two. So it's the Bookses of Kingses.
Got it. Okay, sounds good. Well, let's get into this.
Okie dokie. Okay, so the Book of Kingses.
Okay.
I broke it down into 4 separate categories here.
All right.
Okay. The history of the book itself, the history of the Kingses, the major themes of the Kings bookses,
Okay.
and then the summary of the books of Kings.
Got
Okay?
it.
And I thought we'd do the summary real quick just to kind of remind ourselves what the fuck.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the Book of Kings, the bookses of Kings, were probably written during the time of Judah's captivity in Babylon, which begins at the end of 2nd Kings.
Got it.
Right? Like
yeah.
they just got swept.
Right.
So
right.
that's when the Book of Books
Like, well, we're not ruling now, so we're bored. Let's write some books about it.
in captivity or what the
Yeah,
fuck ever.
right.
Yeah. The Temple of God was destroyed. Jerusalem was in ruins. The tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and some of Levi were serving a pagan king in a faraway country.
Oh, no.
So all kinds of shit happening, right?
Right.
Okay, so the books of 1st and 2nd Kings cover more than 400 years of Israelite history.
Okay.
Which, I mean,
we kind of knew that.
kind of said like several hundred years.
Right,
So,
yeah.
But 4 of the several hundred.
Yeah. I mean, just
Okay.
in the amounts of time that the kings were ruling, it
Yeah.
felt like... And probably more so because they were back and forth between both sides, but like... Yeah.
Starting with the death of King David, that's what started off the book of 1st Kings.
Right.
Which was approximately 1015 BCE.
Okay.
And then it concludes with the death of King Joachim,
Right.
sometime after approximately 561 BCE.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, when he got in the way of the Egyptian dude down there.
Yup, at Megiddo or whatever
Right,
the fuck it's
right.
called. Yeah. So the book of 1st Kings provides an account of the death of David and the reign of his son Solomon as God establishes his temple in Jerusalem.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Then comes the decline and division of the kingdom of Israel after Solomon turns from God. But not till like the end of his long, illustrious career as the best
Right.
guy
Yeah, he was,
and
like
wisest.
they literally said he's the wisest ever, never shall. And like and the I mean like just the shit that they say.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't until like
ridiculous.
right at the end that it's like, oh, and he had 5,000 wives and he sucked.
right.
The end.
Yeah.
It's like they snuck that little
Bye.
thing in there. Yeah. So Jeroboam leads the northern kingdom away from God.
Sure.
Remember,
Okay.
he's the worst ever.
The worst
except
ever.
he's not the worst ever.
Right.
And his people turn to idol worship.
Yeah.
Okay. The-
Turn to like it hadn't been happening prior to that.
No, not at
Never.
all. Not at all. No. Northern kings struggle for control, right?
Yeah.
Against all the other people
Right.
that are in and out.
Including themselves.
Right. And First Kings also recounts the ministry of the prophet Elijah among the northern 10 tribes of Israel.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
In 2 Kings, God judges Ahab's family with Elisha and other prophets.
Mm-hmm.
Several kings of the north and south rule Israel and Judah, most of whom do evil in the Lord's sight.
That's true.
Israel falls to Assyria, while Judah reforms under Hezekiah. Right?
Right. Yep.
But then Manasseh provokes God and dooms Judah. But
Damn
then,
that Manasseh.
But then Judah again reforms, this time under Josiah.
But God doesn't give a fuck.
But they finally fall to Babylon at the end of the books of Kings.
Right. You know, I'm curious why God can't just intervene and keep all this shit from happening.
It's supposed to be free will. We're supposed to choose him, and I'm like, but why?
Yeah,
should
but
we,
sometimes
though?
he doesn't believe in free will.
Right. Exactly.
So, like, especially when he kills motherfuckers, that's not free will.
No.
I didn't choose to die.
No, exactly. That is true. That is true.
Just saying.
It's all a bunch of hooey bullshit.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the history of the book itself. And when I say book, I'm referring to 1st and 2nd Kings as a whole.
Okay.
Okay? The Book of Kings concludes the Deuteronomistic history, right?
Okay.
Was the history of Israel that also includes the books of Joshua, Judges, not Ruth,
right.
and then 1st and 2nd Samuel.
Got it.
Okay?
Yep.
So Chronicles goes over a bunch of that stuff, and I'm not sure why it's not included, other than that, well, but it's written by somebody else.
Right.
So that's why.
Yeah. No.
So
yeah.
it's just interesting that it covers the same ground, but because it's a different author,
It's not
it's
considered the
separate.
same. Yeah.
yeah. So I am excited to find out what the next section is.
Right.
So that we can, like, I like grouping them and be like, okay, we finished another section.
I often wonder, you know, how we haven't really got into it yet, but like, you know, from what I've heard, there's a lot of repeat, right? Mm-hmm. Like when the people were putting the Bible together, how did they decide that this canon was going to be repetitive as much as it is?
I have no idea.
You know,
honestly.
like I'm curious. Like, what does it add?
From what I understand, the book of Jeremiah is also repetitive of what we've covered. I think that the repetitiveness from different sources is supposed to lend to the authenticity of it actually having happened.
Okay.
I know that it's that way in the New Testament when we've got the various Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John telling the same story but from different perspectives, and so they don't always match up, and that's supposed to be like, isn't that neat that they don't match up perfectly? That means it's real.
Right.
Yeah. But
because, you know, we're supposed to believe 4 people to rule the entire, like, to set the rules for the entire world for the rest of time.
Yeah.
4 people get to decide that that's
4
what
people.
actually happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, what the fuck?
I can't with that.
Right.
So, I don't know. We're not there yet. I don't know. I'm not trying to have it.
Right.
But to answer your question, they decided that different people telling the same story
was the way to go.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Biblical commentators believe the books of Kings were written to provide a theological explanation for the destruction of the kingdom of Judah by Babylon in 586 BCE, and to provide a foundation for a return from Babylonian exile.
I mean, that makes sense. They had apologists even back then.
Because they were like, because they were already writing all of these things that were like, God says we're going to rule forever and ever. And then they got swept and they were like,
wait, what?
Oh, shit.
We got to fix this.
Yeah. So they had to kind of create this story that made it make sense. Make it make sense.
Right.
The 2 books of Kings present a history of ancient Israel and Judah from I already said that, blah, blah, blah. Imprisonment in Babylon. Okay. When the book of Kings was translated into Greek in the last few centuries BCE, Samuel was joined with Kings in a 4-part work called the Book of Kingdoms. So at first it was 1st and 2nd Samuel's and 1st and 2nd Kings.
Got it.
So it was this whole long book.
Yeah.
That is now 4 different books.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
When the Latin translation was made for the Western Church, the Book of Kingdoms was first retitled the Book of Kings Parts 1 to 4.
Okay.
And then eventually both Samuel and Kings were separated into 2 books of each.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
It used to be 1, then it was a couple, and now it's 4.
Right.
Interesting.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, as you are, as priests, I'm sure, and pastor, whoever, people that are using the Bible, start using it, there's different sections that are going to be
unwieldy.
Right, yeah. And they're like, well, I don't need all of this. I just need that. So they're going to break it themselves into sections, and then once it becomes something that everybody's doing, they're just going to be like, yeah, that's what that is.
Let's make it standard.
Right.
Yeah. According to Jewish tradition, the author of Kings was Jeremiah, who we haven't met yet.
Okay.
He's one of the guys coming up here, I think, like after Chronicles.
Got it.
I thought it was Ezra, but maybe it's Jeremiah or something. I'm not there yet, so I don't know.
Got it.
He would have been alive, however, during the fall of Jerusalem. So that lends
somebody has a first-hand account of
right,
which makes a little bit of sense because a lot of the things that we were talking about were more historical in their writing as far as what they're writing about. It's very much a historical account,
right?
Somewhat.
Yes, I'm going to actually address that specific thing that you just said in just a moment here.
Okay.
So the editors/authors of the Deuteronomistic history cite a number of sources, including, for example, the Book of the Acts of Solomon, which we don't have,
right, and
the Annals of the Kings of Judah, which we don't have, and the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel, which we don't have.
Right.
Those are the King Chronicle, Kingly Chronicle, Chronicle King.
That fucking book.
That fucking book.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 of the Dead Sea Scrolls feature parts of the Book of Kings.
Huh.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting.
So, addressing what you just were saying about how it's history kind of ish.
Right.
The style of history. Kings is, quote, history-like.
Right.
Rather than history in the modern sense.
Right.
Mixing legends, folk tales, miracle stories, and fictional constructions in with the annals. And its primary explanation for all that happens is God's offended sense of what is right. It is therefore more fruitful to read it as theological literature in the form of history, which I think is basically
it's like Fox
what we
News
said.
for history in the Bible.
Is it though? Because yeah, actually, okay. Faux news,
Right.
FAUX.
Right.
Yeah. The theological bias is seen in the way it judges each king of Israel on the basis of whether he recognizes the authority of the temple in Jerusalem.
Right.
None do, and therefore all are evil.
Right.
And each king of Judah on the basis of whether he destroys the, quote, high places, rivals to the temple in Jerusalem.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we talked about that a lot actually because we're like, well, I mean, you know, sometimes we get caught up in the story and we're like, they were bad, and like, but you know,
But
like
we forget ourselves.
We're like, yeah, we forget ourselves because we're like, it's not really about bad or good. This is just the story of who won.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're telling it from their perspective because
Yep.
we don't know anything about these fucking people really other than
Right.
what they're telling us, and we are forced to believe this version because it's the version we have.
Right.
So,
The standard Hebrew text of Kings presents an impossible chronology. So
Right.
clearly a lot of this is
some
bullshit.
contradictions?
Yes, which we'll get to in another episode.
right, yeah.
So the major themes of the Book of Kings are fourfold, okay?
Okay.
God's promise, apostasy, judgment, and prophecy. And I'm going to say a little bit about each of those.
They love that fucking prophecy, don't they? Like,
and how.
it's gonna happen, and then it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Look how it happened.
And then they
it
tell
happened.
you that it happened, thereby, fulfilling the prophecy.
You remember that shit? That shit happened.
Yeah, which, I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of glad when they do that, because I don't remember.
No,
what we
I don't
already
remember
read.
it either, but like, they're very caught up in,
They're smug.
look how God did the thing that he said he was gonna do.
They're very smug
But like,
about
you
it.
fuckers are writing about this after it happened. Like,
Right.
God didn't say shit. You just took this thing that somebody said God said would happen, and then you just made this shit up.
Right.
Like, you're making it work.
Exactly.
You know? Like, one of the things that we used to both be booksellers, and one of the things that pissed me off more than anything was when anything bad happened in the world, the goddamn public would come in and buy Nostradamus
When you
and the
say-
Bible and all kinds of shit
When you
that
say
was like,
anything bad, you're specifically referring to 9/11.
well, yeah, that was the one
That was the
was
big
really
one.
big when we were back there
They
selling books.
sold out the day of 9/11. We sold out of all copies of anything to do with Nostradamus.
Yeah.
And Bibles.
Right? Yeah, no,
Gone.
Bibles were big then too. It
Those
was like,
two works were gone.
I'm like, this is just sick.
It's
just fucking sick.
Yeah, I honestly, like, that day and the rest of the week, I was really grossed out. And I didn't want to help people. And I was really cranky about it because I was like, you people are gross. And then when we got all of the official bagged copies of the New York Times,
Right.
to buy as commemorative items,
Yeah.
to commemorate 9/11, and those were like selling off the shelves,
Right.
because they're going to be worth something someday. And I'm like, you guys are sick. You guys are disgusting. I probably should have got fired that whole week, if I'm being honest, because I was just so put out. I was like,
No, we saw
why?
like it was just the choices that people like. I just didn't understand it. Like,
I kept asking, like, why Nostradamus though?
right,
And like they kept saying, oh, he foretold this, and I'm like, but where?
right. Like, can you?
And nobody would like show me, like, on this page he said
Because
this.
nobody fucking knew. Somebody on some news program
Somebody on
or
fucking
something.
Fox said,
yeah, they're like,
Nostradamus.
this is in there, and there might have been something in there. I think there is something in there vaguely about some towers falling or something like
crumbling,
that.
Yeah,
But like, come the fuck on.
right.
Just give me a goddamn break.
Towers are gonna crumble, y'all.
Right?
They did it in Jericho. They're
Like,
gonna do
oh
it
my
again.
god, he predicted something that would eventually happen, and it happened.
Right? Yeah.
I mean,
It
wow.
it was very people.
I
suck.
should just write down a bunch of shit now and be like, I am husband Ostrus. And
Husband
Ostrus. And,
Oh my
and
God.
then I will predict all the things that are happening in the future,
You're an
and you
idiot.
all will believe that I am a prophet or something.
You're not a prophet.
I am definitely not a fucking prophet.
You are not a prophet. Okay, so let's talk about these 4 themes.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
The first one was God's promise. So, in return for Israel's promise to worship Yahweh alone, meaning no other gods
right.
before him, blah, 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 Yahweh makes promises to David and to Israel. To David, the promise that his line will rule Israel forever, and to Israel, the promise of the land they will possess. So, this is about God's promise.
Well, and I have to say this too. So, like, the idea of a single God, it kind of, that idea grew into itself in these books. Like, within the last few books that we've read, because there was more of a sense of a collective God of types in previous books. Now, that wasn't always very easy to read it either, but it definitely was there when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that they word things changed dramatically in these newer books as to how they are referencing what God is and who he is.
Yep, sure did.
So.
Yep. So the second one was apostasy, and I had to look that word up, because what the fuck does that even mean? Are you familiar with that word?
I've heard it. I don't know what it means.
It means the rejection of Judaism and possible conversion to another religion by a Jew. So we cannot commit apostasy because we aren't Jewish in the first place.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
But that was the second theme, and it talks about the great tragedy of Israel's history, meaning the destruction of the kingdom and the temple, and that it due to the failure of the kings and thereby its people to worship Yahweh alone. So first God made the promise, if you worship me alone, you'll get great things. And apostasy happened, and they were like, we aren't going to worship you alone. And then 3 is judgment. And that's the natural, God-ordained consequence of Israel's failure.
All right.
And through that, the 2 kingdoms got swept.
I just don't, we've talked about this before too. I don't like the idea of punishing everybody for everyone else's, bad behavior, right? Mm-hmm. There's always going to be, like, you're telling me that every single person was not good. Every single one. Like, and we talked about this back when
Noah swept the planet.
Well, and Sodom and Gomorrah, and like, I mean, everybody was bad. Everybody, really.
According to God, and He would be the judge, right?
And I take exception to this because I don't believe that everybody was bad. Now, whether they all worshipped God or not, I don't really give a fuck about, because that's just petty bullshit. And if you can't handle somebody not knowing you because you haven't spoke up and not fucking worshiping you, but let's just say they did those things. They didn't worship you exactly the way you wanted to, but they were good people. Mm-hmm. And they lived their lives in a godly manner, which I'm sure happened. Mm-hmm. You still chose to punish those people.
Well, yeah.
Because you're just a petty fuck.
Yeah. And
I'm just saying, like,
but that's not even the bad part. The bad part is people today choosing to worship that God.
That's part of why I am so strongly atheist, is that the people that quote unquote choose to worship God, more often than not, when I see them, the ones that present themselves, right? Mm-hmm. The ones that are there in your face, letting you know how Christian they are.
God bless you.
They're the fucking worst.
They are the worst.
They're not good people.
No.
They are generally... There's generally a huge flaw with them as far as character, or
they're usually selfish, self-centered, cruel, bossy, in your face,
and they're
lacking in empathy.
They're exactly the wrong people to be promoting God, and they're the ones that are trying to promote God these days.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I'm going off again.
I know. So we had God's promise, and then when they don't do that, that's apostasy.
Right.
And then when they commit apostasy, they get judgment. And then after that is part 4, or the 4th theme, which is prophecy.
Okay.
And God's prophecies are always fulfilled, so any not yet fulfilled will be so in the future.
Of course, yeah.
And the release of Joaquin at the end, remember?
Yeah.
When he got to sit at the table?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So the release of Joaquin and his restoration to a place of honor in Babylon in the closing scenes of the book implies that the promise of an eternal Davidic dynasty is still in effect and that the Davidic line will be restored. That's why they added that little tidbit. He got to sit at the table, y'all.
Yeah, we don't want you questioning.
David's still around. David's line is still here.
Right, we don't want you questioning whether or not, God was correct or not.
Right.
Although there's lots of places where we can still question that, but that's all right. Whatever.
But that's what the next episode that we're doing is for.
The contradictions
episode? Yeah.
Okay. Well, did we cover everything that you had?
We covered everything that I had.
And that puts a wrap on...
2 Kings.
Yeah, 2 Kings.
Yep.
And Kings in general.
Kings and the books of Kingses and the end of the Deuteronomistic history.
Wow, that's a lot of ends.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for the journey through 2 Kings with us here and all the way up to now. And we'll see you guys for the Contradictions episode, which will be out tomorrow. I'm releasing this late tonight, which, as soon as I finish this shit. And then tomorrow morning we'll have the Contradictions episode and then the weekly wrap-up. So
as well as the sacrilegious book.
Yeah, that too. So we got a lot of fucking recording to do tonight.
Hurry up.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.